You ready for me to start reading? Okay. What are harvest monsters, Usin? Those ritual monsters? Perfect.
Exile? Exile? Celerin. Hello. Celerin.
I'm maxed out. Houston.
Hey.
All right. So you recommend. So I got these slots I need in the shield. I also got my slots.
Nice.
Try to think. Is there anything I could add to these boots?
Yes, movement speed.
If they'll appreciate that. All right, so that's good. Just make the cost. Do you think it's worth 4 chaos orbs?
Seems like you don't have tier 2 or tier 1 of it, so I guess.
Right, and then he said I could add things to the shield.
You have to remove the
All right, and all my resistances
But
are
first you need to take off your other shield.
ah.
Probably gonna be lightning, but we shall see.
All right, looks like I just
You're
need.
pretty good on both, so actually you might get away with a fire and chaos hybrid one.
Fire and chaos, you say? Like this one?
Yep. Yep.
This is
Tier
a
2. It's
tier
cheaper.
2. Okay. You recommend this tier 2 one?
Yeah, I'm just a cheapo.
All right.
And that still gives chaos resistance, which is also necessary. That should ease your elemental resistance, like borderline a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Even though I don't know if you continuously use purity of elements indefinitely, but now you're less reliant on it
Go
yourself.
with courage.
Mm-hmm. I imagine you've been finding benefits to for me rocking purity.
I'd assume whenever I'm actually near you.
Yeah.
uh,
Okay. There we go.
the only other crafting related thing is still the wand, but I think then you still need an open suffix on wand. Because if I remember correctly, you don't have the open spot on your wand.
Yeah, I just don't have the open suffix.
Come in! Housing is crucial to making Kingsmarch. What can I do? To work and live.
Right.
Hail! It's a cornucopia of talent.
Wow.
I'll get right on that paperwork. Our team continues to grow. One more for Kingsmarch. Great choice. I've got plenty more eager to sign up. Here's the next set. Our team
Weird having workers for
continues to
so cheap.
grow. They can start
Usually, like,
and I'll
as I
get
do the
everything
run,
filled
I
out
follow
later.
the like I do
choice.
while doing the run. And so by now, like, they're costing like 300. All right, friend, it's time that if you just want to just read the one section and hop on right after, we can. Yeah, but nonetheless, we got to read one section. So, are you ready for me to read one section? Well, the moment you feel ready, let me know.
How goes the adventure?
Oh, good. More work.
A good apprentice for Danik. One more for the mines. One more for the mines. The choice is made. One more for the mines. The shipping lanes will be somewhat safer. Sonia will make good use of them. Sonia will make good use of them. Sonia will make good use of them. Sonia will make good use of them.
Let's start reading. Okay. Let's hit BRB. I'll be back, Houston.
Okay.
John, 1 John 1, 1 through 4, the word of life. That which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have gazed at, and our hands have handled, concerning the word of life. That life was displayed, and we have seen it, and bear witness. And we announce to you the life of God's coming age, which was with the Father and was displayed to us. That which we have seen and heard, we announce to you too, so that you also may have fellowship with us. And our fellowship is with the Father and with his Son, Jesus the Messiah. We are writing these things so our joy may be complete. So here is John echoing even from the book of John, where he sees from very beginning of creation, Jesus was there. And John being a first observer, like one of the eyewitnesses, saying that our eyes have seen it. And he's saying that he is the word of life. So tree of life, his voice is life. All right, commentary. I have seen the future and it works. That notorious statement was made by an American journalist, Lincoln Steffens, in 1919. He had just returned from a visit to the recently established Soviet Union, formed on Marxist principles after the Russian Revolution had swept away the old aristocracy and its method. Has swept away the old aristocracy and its method of government. Steffens was echoing the hopes of millions in Europe and America. Perhaps this entirely new ideal, this new way of ordering human society, was the answer to all the old problems of tyranny and oppression. Perhaps this was indeed the future, the things that will come to the rest of humanity as a great revolution, a great display of enlightened progress. We would all catch up one day, but for the moment, Steffens, at least, had a glimpse into that future and declared that it worked. Subsequent history has revealed, of course, that it only worked in the sense of achieving certain ends at the most enormous cost of human lives. The Soviet system, like other revolutionary regimes, found it necessary to imprison or kill millions of its own subjects, never mind enslaving several adjacent nations. When it finally came crashing down under its own dead weight in the late 1980s, it became apparent that it had been rotten and hollow inside for many years, perhaps for many decades, perhaps all along. The problem it caused are with us still. But that sense of a glimpse of the future, of an advanced display of the new world waiting to be born, however tragically mistaken in that case, is exactly the picture John is offering at the start of his short but glowing letter. The ancient Jews believed that world history was divided into two periods, or ages. There was the present age, which was full of misery and suffering, injustice and oppression, and there was the age to come. The time when God would sort it all out, would put everything right, and would in particular rescue his people from the evil they had suffered. Unfortunately, the word for age has often been translated as eternal or eternity, which has given modern readers the idea that John and other early Christian writers who refer to God's new age were thinking of something eternal in the sense of purely spiritual, something that had nothing to do with the world of space, time, and matter. That's what people often hear when they read the phrase eternal life, which is what most translations have at verse 2. But this is mistaken. John, like Paul, and indeed like Jesus himself, is thinking of the new age, the age to come, which God has promised. This is the future, and it really works. And God has provided an advanced display of this future. God has kept the age to come under wraps, as it were, waiting to reveal it at the right time. But the secret at the heart of the early Christian movement was that the age to come had already been revealed. The future had burst into the present, even though the present time wasn't ready for it. The word for the future was life. Life as it was meant to be. Life in its full, vibrant meaning. A life which death tried to corrupt, thwart, and kill, but a life which had overcome death itself was now on offer to anyone who wanted to come and take it. Life itself had come to life, had taken the form of a human being, coming into the present from God's future, come and display God's coming age. And the name of that life in person is, of course, Jesus. That is the very heart of what John wants to say. Of course, the very idea of God's new life becoming a person and stepping forward out of the future into the present is so enormous, so breathtaking, that a tone of wonder, of hushed awe and reverence becomes appropriate. That is what we find in these opening verses, that which was from the beginning. Pause and think about that for a moment. Which we have heard, which you have seen with our eyes, which you have gazed at. Pause again. Your own eyes? You didn't just glimpse it? You gazed at it? Yes, says John, and what's more, our hands have handled. You touched it, this life. You touched him? You handled him? Yes, repeats John, we heard, saw, and touched this from the beginning life. We knew him and we were his friends. And we still are his friends. Once the future has come into the present is transformed forever. The life has been displayed, has been put on show for all to see, though some still prefer not to look. And we who saw it, who knew him, are now like witnesses in a law court, speaking to a surprised jury about the strange things which we have encountered. Oh, we can talk about Jesus and what he did and said, as John says at the end of his gospel. If you try to write it all down, the world will explode with the book that would be written. But when you reflect on what it means, then you have to say this. We have seen the future, and it is full of light and life and joy and hope. The rest of the letter will explore all this. For the moment, John explains his purpose in writing. Those who have seen this life and have been captured by its beauty and promise find that they come to belong to a new kind of family, a fellowship, as we sometimes say. The word he uses at this point is sometimes used of a business partnership, but he means much more than that. It can also refer to the sharing of particular goods or benefits between people that comes into it, as we shall see. But John means much more than that, too. He seems to mean, stretching the word to fit the new reality, as the early Christians often had to do, that there is a kind of life, a quality of life, which is God's very own life, in which God himself is now sharing with the people who have heard and seen the life to come called Jesus. Indeed, John sees God's own life as already a shared fellowship, the fellowship between Father and Son. Jesus as Messiah has been marked out as God, as Son of God, both in the sense that this was his rightful royal title as Israel's true king, and in a deeper, richer sense previously hardly suspected or imagined, but now celebrated by his followers as the only possible way to explain the extraordinary things that they had seen, heard, and even handled. As his life, death, and resurrection demonstrated, Jesus was clearly the life and person of God's coming age. He was, in fact, God's own new life, both the life of God himself and the gift of life from God to the world. The earliest Christians quickly seized upon the words Father and Son as the simplest and clearest way of saying the unsayable at this point. There was a common life, a deep sharing of inner reality between God and Jesus, enough to take your breath away at the thought of such a human being, and indeed of such a God. But it doesn't stop there. It gets even more breathtaking. This deep sharing of inner reality, this fellowship between Father and Son, has been extended. Extends to all those who come to know, love, and trust Jesus while he was alive, while he was, so to speak, on display God's public unveiling of the coming life. And now, this, it seems, is the point of the letter. This sharing, this fellowship is open to others too, to others who didn't have the chance to meet Jesus during his period of public display. This sharing can be and is being extended to anyone and everyone who hears the announcement about Jesus. They can come into fellowship with those who did see, hear, and handle him. And they in turn are in fellowship with the Father and the Son, with the two are themselves the very bedrock and model for that fellowship in this fullest sense really means. It may seem strange that simply telling people about Jesus is the appointed means by which such a momentous thing as this fellowship can be extended to include new members. But John is very much aware that the opening move in the whole game was made by God himself as an act, not a silent display, but a verbal communication. Jesus was not only life in person, he was the word of life. Life as word. Life turned to speech. God's speech, God's self-communication to his people, and through them to the wider world. In John's gospel, of course, he refers to Jesus simply as the Word. The Word became flesh. The point is this: God has spoken in Jesus, and God now speaks through the words which Jesus' friends speak and write about him to others also, in the intention and hope that they'll come and share the same fellowship. That is the point of the letter. That should be our prayer as we read it. And so we see, and this is definitely from here, that so John, they saw the life, they hugged life. And even though after Jesus' death and resurrection, any one of us can hear life from the others, so even from my voice right now, and we become partakers of the fellowship. He's not just a walking embodiment. He actually is God. That's so cool that power is just shared just by speaking about it. All right, friend. Done reading. We can start.
I.
All right. You there, Ustin?
Oh, hello there.
Yep.
Oos. So I imagine I just need to level up my town center before I could get the disenchantment guy.
Aye-oh.
Nope. You need to. Well, actually, yeah. Well, you have to talk to the guy too.
I talked to him.
Engineer.
Yeah, but this is
Did you? Okay. Yeah, you'll have to level up at the
cool.
town center then.
What do you need?
well. Now I'll just wait until I have the resources. All right, horn, shipment.
They're on their way.
All right.
And to be able to start investing in it and actually being able to support it, we need to rush up the tiers of maps some more.
All right. So this one has ritual, magic. What are harvest monsters?
The ones in the Sacred Grove,
I see. We do have a good bit of Sacred Grove.
And don't forget, you can just make the white maps since we're still on white
Oh yeah,
to just magic.
I do it every
So
time.
that way you don't have to use your. Oh, that you're making it rare.
Yep, just to make us go through faster. All right, make sure.
No, that's rare. That's not magic.
I mean, that's where I do it so that we just level up faster and get more. I've been doing it every time.
But it's also more expensive, and since we need to get to higher levels, where you actually start getting the more loot. It's a double-edged sword on that.
Yep.
Since the higher tier of maps themselves give more XP
Yep.
instead of higher rarity. Also, my network conditions, or is it yours? Let's see. Oh, I think it's and nope.
Are you experiencing networking issues?
Discord is pixelated like.
I'm not. I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Not so much on your end, though. Interesting. Yep. Getting frozen a bunch.
Don't
Lovely.
think it'll be like the last time, Nixon. No one's coming to save you.
One?
This one I'd expect nothing less from you. Time to speak, silent brother. Go on, do it. What's wrong, Vivici? This is what you do.
I can't afford to die right now.
For this, General, I will pluck you free of the tapestry myself. Even an ignoramus like yourself can see you have... So be it. But if word of our deal makes it to other ears, I will cut out your tongue.
Thanks to your hard work.
Oh,
More
we can do
nice.
this in the get safe house after this.
Neat.
Hail. Are you sure about that one? Seems risky.
All right. Get that treasure. And we'll get this treasure. Right. Welcome back. Oh, hey, sweet Q. Sorry, I had my headphones on.
I'll defend the cargo as I would a king or queen.
Oh gosh.
A spot more wheeling and dealing. I may have a reputation for liquidity.
I expect you will come at us with a new strategy next time, baby. I look forward to it.
Oh. When there's a ice over the portal, does that mean they're resistant to ice?
Yes.
Ah, that's a oof then. Okay, now I know.
The light is trying to spread.
I was like, how does he know their resistance? And that will be the tell.
The blight is trying to spread.
I'll just use the ice as a. Oh, there we go. Where's the second path? Oh, no, no, there's still the one path. Okay. Oh, they all go in the same direction. Thank you. The eye. That's that.
Indeed it is.
Thanks to your heart. Warm nights.
Ugh.
Long day.
So what do you think? Should we? Oh, are you calling it?
Yeah, for now, it's getting on the later side. Don't worry if you feel like you want to continue on. Don't wait for me. You don't have to.
I'll gladly wait for you. I'll switch over.
Well,
to,
I'm in because you don't
Exile.
I'll switch over to Kingdom Hearts.
wait for me. Well, you can do that, but I'm just saying you don't have to wait for me to also play Path of Exile if you're feeling like that.
My Path of Exile experience is 10 times fold better when I have a buddy. And I'm enjoying this run. This is our run.
Warm nights. Salah.
But you have a buddy in the mirror. So, I'm joking. Or, well, I'm not joking. Because you should enjoy time with yourself too.
That's what Kingdom Hearts
Cool
4.
winds.
For breaking all the mirrors? Yeah. But yeah, it's getting late. It's, I'm hungry.
All right.
I hunger for sustenance.
I hunger and thirst for righteousness. Well, you have a good night. I mean, I'll be back on later today, maybe with Peter for some TMT. But I don't know. Maybe you're in the cycle of it's close to your bedtime.
Well, that, like, we're getting to a normal person's sleeping time around about now, so.
Yeah.
Take that, question mark?
Well, it's your normal person, as in 2 hours away from me. Normal person now time. If you know what I'm talking about. In your time zone, yes.
Dear normality. Either ways, talk to you later.
See you later, friend.
Celerin. Cool wind. Cool winds. Cool winds. Celerin.
All right. Cool. I don't know how long you're rated, but cool beans. All right, let me switch over to some Kingdom Hearts. Hope to get you guys then.